You know what time it is? It's time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Hang with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Yeah.
Welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Big shout outs to everyone that's listening on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, wherever you're listening to. Big shout outs to you. If you want to catch the video version of this show, make sure you go to my website to catch full episodes at thebigscoopwithcoop.com. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/thebigscoopwithcoop. You can also catch a 15-minute preview of this episode right here on Instagram at Big Scoop with Coop. All right, people, enough about me. Today's guests, oh man, they have great things going on. One of them, his name is Jim Storm, and if you are a fan of the soap operas, especially in the 80s or the 90s, you will recognize him. He was in The Bold and the Beautiful, and he played the role of Bill Spencer. So he's on the show today. Also, I have Joe Barber on the show. He is the producer of a funny movie that's out there. It's called Prisoner Trump, The Dawn of Cell Block B. Now, both of these people are actually very successful in their art and what they do. So we're going to kick it with Joe. We're going to kick it with Jim. We're going to speak about their careers. We're going to speak about this movie. We're going to speak a little bit about The Bold and the Beautiful. And we're going to see what else they have going on. So sit back and relax and enjoy this episode of the Big Scoop with Coop with Jim Storm and Joe Barber.
Great introduction, man.
Jim Storm and Joe Barber. Yes, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Coop.
Yes,
Hey,
how's
it's
your days
great to
going?
be here.
Pleasure to
Great
be
to
here.
be here.
Thank you. How's both of your days going so far?
Pretty well.
Really
Pretty
good.
well.
Really good. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
No, nothing unusual to report up here. It's just another day. The movie just came out on Apple TV, and so we're just spending the time spreading the word.
Oh, of course. Jim, your day going good so far?
Yeah, it's really fine. Really fine. I really like having these interviews, and I like pushing this film a lot. It's a lot of fun to do, and it was a challenge to do as an actor. And so I'm really having a good time with it. It's a lot of fun.
Not a problem. Now, we're going to start from the beginning, though, real quick, for the people that's getting introduced to both of you at the same time. So I want to start with Jim first. Jim, when did you first realize that you wanted to get into the television and movie industry?
Probably I was, I think when I was about 6 years old, and I was playing a town crier in a Christmas play. And I went down to give baby Jesus a gift and woke up in the Santa Monica hospital with appendicitis and all the fanfare that was attached to it. I said, man, this is great. This is an audience. And that started me.
Wow.
It's a true story. No, I really started taking it seriously when I was about 17, 18 years old. Just got out of high school and had nothing else to do but hang out. So that's how I did it. Yeah.
Nice.
Kept you off the streets.
Exactly. And I tell Jim and Joe, I tell everybody the past 11 seasons of my show that if you get an itch for something or if something hits you at an early age, it's going to stay in you. It really don't matter what age it is. If it's something that's getting inside of you, it's going to be like an itch where you can't get rid of it. And look how both of your careers are going so far. Yes.
Well,
Thanks,
it's loving what you do. It's loving what you do. I mean, you've been doing this for 11 years. You love what you do. And it shows. So that's what you do, And I had an uncle who said, you better find another line of work to do. I was about 18 years old. I was building a theater down in San Diego. And he said, because, it's a business that, comes and goes. I was 18 years old and I said, no, it won't. And I'm going to keep going. And I mean, I went from 18 to Broadway, and I just had an incredible run of good fortune for a long time. So, but I remember him saying that, and I remember saying, no, I'm not going to do something else. This is what I'm going to do. And I did it.
Wow.
So, and
And,
still doing.
and you kept
Yeah.
running with it. Yes, yes. Now, Joe, I want to get to you real quick. Now, what inspired you to become a producer and a director in the movie industry? What was your road?
Well, I I was interested in acting when I was a kid. Also, well, mostly in college, I took a couple of classes. Was in some student productions, but I kind of I let it go for a while. I made a documentary a while ago called "Electile Dysfunction" with an L about politics, and
I love that
I
line.
like the business part. I like the business. I like the creativity. It's a great industry. It's a lot of fun with great people in it, and who wouldn't want to be in it? And I just happened to have an opportunity, and for this a good a good idea for a movie, something that was close to my heart.
Wow. Wow. And you know what, Joe and Jim, I'm gonna let you know both of you, the paths that both of you are taking right now, trust me, your work shows. It really shows. And this movie, we're about to get into the movie in 1 minute. But I want to ask both of you also, Jim and Joe, did you all have any mentors to help you out when you first started in this industry up to now?
Well, I've
Yeah,
had
I had a lot.
yeah, Jim, you go. You're more
Go,
interesting than I
no,
am.
go, Joe, go. No, be,
No,
please.
I have a very good friend. I was starting I have a very good friend who's in the distribution business, and we were starting a distribution company in 2010. We launched at Cannes, but it wasn't that company, wasn't to be. But but that's really what interested me was being in the distribution side, the production side, uh, and so I'm happy to be behind the camera for that. That was he was my mentor and helped me out so much. I won't use his name for reasons I'll explain later, but he was a great help to me.
Nice, nice. What
That's
about you, Jim?
cool. That's cool.
Yes, it is.
Well, I had a whole list. I could name a list of people that have been my mentors. Starting uh, with a guy by the name of Torres Vincent, who helped me understand what acting in the theater really was, even though I was raised in it. He really gave me an education. There's so many people along the way that they have been really just realize that this is a young guy that really can do some, is a good actor and can be better. And I was constant. I was the flow that I had for about 10 years when I first decided to go with it was phenomenal. It was just one thing after the other, after the other, but people really taking an interest in really and teaching me. And it's like Joe said, the wonderful people in this industry. And I was fortunate enough to connect with them. I can't say enough about this group of people, but they really they they're reason I'm sitting here today. So that's it.
I understand. Big shout outs to all your mentors to help you out, both of you all out, because like I
You
said,
bet.
once again, look at where both of you all are at right now, and you all have more things that's coming for both of you. I'm letting you know this is nowhere close to any of y'all careers. So I
Thank
see
you.
big
Yeah.
things coming. I definitely do. Yes.
Now I can go into
Well,
why
thank
I
you.
can't,
Thank you.
uh, why I'm not mentioning my friend's name.
Okay.
He there's it's a controversial subject.
Okay.
People are concerned about what happens with Trump followers, with Trump himself, and and this is not just my friend, but I've had a lot of places where people don't want to be associated with the movie because they're afraid of being audited, or they're afraid of crazy people who Second Amendment enthusiasts, and they've asked not to have to keep them off the credits, or something. They love the subject, but it just wasn't practical, from a personal safety standpoint, to really take a public stance, or from a business standpoint, because some people have clients of both sides, and they don't want to be associated too much with one side and alienating the other, because people take this very much to heart, and they take your
Yeah,
opinions
they
to
do.
heart. And yeah.
And you know what?
Well,
Yeah.
it's a political. Yeah, it's.
No, both
Go
of you
ahead.
are both of you are correct. The thing is, when you, people have to understand how to draw the line between the entertainment industry and the politics industry. Just because a movie is
Yeah.
made about someone in politics, it's still the entertainment industry. So, I mean, we're
Absolutely.
here
Yeah.
to
Thank
make you
you.
entertained, to be
Yeah.
entertained,
It's a
Thank
to
you.
laugh.
voluntary.
Yes, that's what it is.
It's all voluntary. You don't have to
Yeah,
watch the
you're
movie. You don't
absolutely
have to
right.
watch anything. You don't have to listen to anybody's opinion on this.
Right.
You could go, you could leave the room, or you could, put your hands over your ears, and that's perfectly okay. But, don't be upset that other people are hearing this, or other people may have a different mindset.
Right.
I don't mind people on the right, they like Donald Trump, and they like to listen to him, and they have their own media. I may not agree with it, but I certainly defend their right to hear it and enjoy it. And it's just entertainment, it's just words. I'm not a politician. I have no impact on anything. I can amuse people. That's about all.
And trust me, you're
Well,
doing
you
well,
certainly amuse
especially with
people
movies.
on this one, Beth. Yeah,
That's what I
it's
like.
a very funny film.
It is, and we're about to get into it in 1 second about that. But
Sure.
since we kind of mentioned the blur of lines, Jim, I want to ask you a question. But before I even ask this question, I want to tell a little story real quick, and it involves Jim, but Jim don't
Yeah.
even know how it involves him. So I'm an '80s baby, so I was born in the '80s. So during the summers, I used to stay. I used to be at my grandmother's house until my parents got me in the evening. So I think you kind of got to know where I'm going with this. So between the hours of 1 p.m. Eastern time and 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, if I turned that television,
Oh.
I was in trouble. If I talked in those 4 hours, I better go outside or go somewhere. And it's because of you, Jim. So I just want to say thank you for this. So I want to bring this up right now, real quick. So, Jim, how excited were you to receive that role of Bill Spencer on The Bold and the Beautiful?
Well, when I was first, when my agent said, why don't you have him read for this part? Bill Bell, who owned the show, said, "No, I want to go with people that I don't know, and that we're going to use all the." And for some reason, I got a call saying, "Yeah, they would like to read you." So I went in, I read with the casting director, and he said, "Okay, we're going to put that in front of all of the CBS big shots, including Bill." And so they did. And but the one thing that I liked about the character is that I could be mean, and I could be kind of domineering, and I could be I was there was a lot going on inside of Bill Spencer that I was allowed to promote, and Bill looked at that, and he thought, well, you know what, this could be something that could draw. And of course, the storyline between my daughter and me, and that relationship, and against Ridge, and who I really despised a lot, uh, just added a fuel to the fire, and they really liked what was going on with it. So that's how it happened.
Understandable. Do you miss it at all?
Uh, you know, No, I don't. I don't. I've done so many years of soap operas, and I don't know. I would rather do films like what Joe's asked me to do. I'd like to do work with young filmmakers. I like to, it doesn't matter about the money, and it doesn't matter as long as the part has some kind of merit to it, and I can see something in it that makes sense to me. Then it's all well worth it. Now, there have been a lot of films that have been tanked because of they're not really well drawn out and all of that stuff. But that's what I like to do, and I have a passion for photography, which is really taking on an enormous amount of my life. And so when a film comes along or a television something, I'm all for it. But I just if they ask me to do a soap, it depends on what kind of character and what I could bring to it. But
The
right
commitment
now
too.
I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, those are long commitments for soaps. They it takes up a lot of time.
400 plus
It's an
episodes that
everyday
he
shoot.
did. Yes. For 400 plus episodes that Jim did. So, yes, he did. So many summers I could not watch cartoons because of this man right here,
Uh,
because I was a child, because of him.
you missed Looney
I'll
Tunes?
make it up to you, man. I'm just, Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes. Joe went to
That
Looney
was
Tunes
my
on that.
pleasure when I was a kid.
Yes, it
That
That's
was what I
was.
wow.
lived for.
Wow.
Yes, it was.
I could still say all the lines whenever I see Bugs Bunny.
Wow. That's
Oh
awesome. That takes
God.
some talent. If you can remember all those lines, because that's too many years of Looney Tunes. It definitely is.
Yeah.
Now, Joe and Jim, let's talk about this movie now. You guys have created this movie, and ladies and gentlemen watching worldwide right now, I told you that you're going to see, you recognize Jim's face as Bill, but you're about to recognize his face as someone else, and you don't even know who it is, and we're about to talk about it right now. So, Joe, how did the movie Prisoner Trump, Don the Cell Block B come into fruition? And tell everybody what this movie is about.
Okay, well, Donald Trump is in prison. He goes to jail. And in this case, it's ironically, it's a crime he didn't commit that he gets charged with because of the way he talks, like the way he speaks like a gangster. He doesn't like say outright, and it's open to interpretation. People, some of his aides misread him and take him seriously and literally, and they kill somebody at his order. So he goes to prison, and there he finds he's in a cell with none other than Rudy Giuliani, and it's the quest of Donald Trump to rise to the top of the prison hierarchy, and and then his what happens when he tries to do the same things he does in real life in a prison environment. Sometimes it doesn't go so well, but it's that's basically the story. I've had I thought of I bought the domain name for Prisoner Trump, prisonertrump.com, which you could still go to, and you could see the trailer. You can watch the movie there, get a lot of behind the scenes information there. Prisonertrump.com. I bought this in 2017, and it wasn't until earlier this year that I thought, well, nobody's done anything. I haven't been able to do anything really with the domain, but it would make a good movie, compelling movie title. And then I added, the Dawn of Cell Block B, because if you're going to go with puns, make it two.
There you go.
And Joe, I've seen the trailer for the movie, and I'm not going to lie. You had me rolling for the whole time watching that trailer. I'm not
I'm
going to lie
glad.
to you. Yes,
It's a funny movie.
It is. It is. Just seeing him
It is.
still. Never mind. I'm not going to spoil it. Joe, tell everybody where they can see this movie at.
Well, it's you can see it at prisonertrump.com, but it's also at this right now it's available on Apple TV, and it's going up on Amazon soon, I'm told. And the distributor has to tell me about the other streaming platforms that it'll be on, but Apple TV and prisonertrump.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, watching worldwide, make sure you go visit the website. Make sure you go see it on Apple TV. Not right now, because you're watching this interview. After the
Exactly.
interview, make sure you go watch this.
There you go. There
There's
you
something
go.
that you do not want to miss
Yeah.
right here. You want a good laugh? Watch this movie. Most definitely. Now, Jim, how much fun did you have playing this role of Donald Trump in
Oh,
this movie?
oh, Coop, let me tell you, I got the go ahead with it about a day and a half before we started shooting. So I spent the time in front of the television, going over stuff with about Donald Trump and trying to figure out how I'm going to do this because it's a distance from what I usually do. So it was a real challenge in that regard, and so I wanted to do it. And I thought it's funny. It's just funny, and it's a lot of fun. And there was a real loose attitude to the set on the set, but people were very conscious about their work. But it was like, we were all under the gun. We all had very little time to prepare. We had virtually no time to shoot it. We just did it. And, and to Joe's, handling of it is really to be commended because he really took. There was no friction. There was no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. There was nothing. People pitched in, did other jobs than they were supposed to. These young kids just worked their tails off. We worked 12, sometimes 13, 14-hour days. And we just stamped that thing out and did everything. And we just had a really good time.
And Jim did such a great job at it. And it was, I'll tell you, when we were shooting, it was some of the hottest days in Los Angeles. And I don't know how Jim survived in a fat suit and in a hot jail cell with movie lights on. But he did such a superb job. We were so happy to get him. But it was last minute. I said before, we had some pushback. And that's what happened. It was Don. We had an agreement with somebody, an impressionist, to do the role, and that was around the time that the assassination of Donald Trump happened in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And he said, people are serious. They have guns, and I don't want to be targeted. I don't want to have anything, I can't have anything to do with this right now. So he stepped away entirely from doing Trump impressions, which was a lot of his bread and butter. Right. And but we were so lucky to get Jim at the last minute, and we had another problem that wasn't like pushback related. But we also had to shoot Rudy. We had to cast Rudy very quickly because we had a great actor to do Rudy, and day before shoot he got COVID, and so we had to cast him. We were so lucky to get Michael Finnerty, but whatever.
Boy, you're lucky. Yeah.
He did such.
He was great. Michael was fantastic.
So great.
Yeah. It was a great show. It was a great shoot, and I'm happy the response has been what it has been, and I really look forward to even more either pushback or encouragement. I have friends who are Republican, and they've seen the trailer, and they just think, I can't. They're going to watch the film. They got a big kick out of it. And they're not, holding anything about, it's fun. That's all. And it's like
we're just
said,
trying to entertain people.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, watching worldwide, I'm gonna throw a conspiracy theory out there. Joe don't even know I'm about to say this, and Jim don't even know I'm about to say this. Did you all hear when Jim just said when they were shooting, it was going so great? Here's my conspiracy theory. Joe said he bought the website in 2017. He plotted this movie 7 years ago. It had to go flawless. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm just letting you know. He didn't say it. I'm saying it. That's my story. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a good story.
Yes. That's a good one, man. He's been dreaming about this for a long time. Yeah.
I've been dreaming about something to do with this title. I've been dreaming about something with the
Mm.
title for a long time, and
Wonderful, man.
this is the way it came out.
And
That's great.
it came out flawlessly, as in Jim words, flawlessly. I like that. I definitely like that.
Yeah, it was
Now,
good. I
Joe
have a
and
question.
Jim and Joe, do you all have any other projects that you all working on right now, or you're thinking about working about that you want to tell everybody in the future about, tell the world about this coming out? Is there anything that you all planning to do or plotting on?
Well, from my perspective,
Go ahead,
making
Joe.
movies, you got to be a little bit quiet at first. I have some things cooking, but nothing is solid. I'm just like all invested in Prisoner Trump at the moment and getting the word out. And so I'm working on. I have another business that I'm working on that hopefully is going to be coming in, but it's going to take a little bit more investment and time.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. What about you,
Jim?
Jim?
Yeah, I have a project that's when I come back, I should know by the time I get back into the country whether I'll be doing it or not. It's a very funny film, and it's a great part, and I'm really anxious to do it. I can't get any more information than that for obvious reasons. So, but it's something I'm very, very excited about, and I just hope it works out. Then the other thing is that my wife and I are traveling around in Europe, but we're photographers. And so if they go to jimstormphotography.com, you'll see the website. I mean, you'll see, yeah, the website.
The
And
pictures, yeah.
we also travel around the United States and do back roads and no freeways at all, and just photograph America. And
Yeah, I gotta say,
that's really
Jim
it.
is a great actor, but he's also a great photographer. He's an artistic man, and
Yeah,
you should really check out
Thank
his
you.
website for the photos too,
that's what
because
I'm talking about. Yes.
Yeah, check them out, Coop. They really do, because there's some really good stuff in it, and we're very proud of what we do, and particularly when it comes to dealing with in America, because that's part of what is important to us is what's going on in the country,
Right.
and diversity and all of that kind of stuff. But we focus on small towns and people in those towns, and we sit around and drink coffee with the waitresses and talk to them about what's going on, and it's just a great thing, and you get a good shots from them, and it's really it gives you a lot of hope.
I like that. Jim, give everybody the website one more time so everybody can go around the world looking at this.
Okay, it's called Jim Storm Photography at
uh,
.com,
.com.
Nice, nice.
and that's it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch worldwide. Make sure you go check out the website. Check out the photos that Jim has taken across the world. If you want to see where he's been, go to the website. You'll see it exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Now, both of you, Jim and Joe, are you all gracing your presence on social media? Do you all have a place where everybody can follow you on social media?
Yeah, there's an Instagram page for the show. Joe's it's called Prisoner underscore Trump. There's a Facebook page that might have I don't know. Currently, I'm locked out of my own Facebook business page, but I've got a manager handling that.
Okay.
And we're on X at prisoner underscore Trump.
Nice, nice. What about you, Jim?
I have Jim Storm Official Fan Club.
Oh, James Storm official.
I'm sorry, James Storm Official Fan Club,
Nice,
and that's you can see what's going on through that too.
nice. Ladies and gentlemen worldwide, if you want to catch up with this movie, you want to catch up what Joe and Jim is doing, make sure you check out the social media pages, because you never know. They might release something up there that's going to be coming out that you're not hearing nowhere else. So make sure you follow them.
Yeah, we're
Make
having
sure you
some
do.
content coming out on socials.
Ooh, you better follow these pages. I'm telling you guys, you don't want to miss out on this.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show, but this is the last segment of the show right here. Jim and Joe, this is called Take the Floor. You all have up to 2 minutes to say whatever you want. Joe, you will go first. Jim, you will go last. Joe and Jim, take the floor.
Thank you for the time, Coop. I'm Yeah, I'm real excited about the response to this movie. I'm so excited. It's been a labor of love. I'm so thankful to Jim and the cast, and everybody did such a great job. And I'm hoping my message, most important message now, is to vote. I want everybody to make a plan to vote. Make sure that if you're not voting early, to make sure that you have time on Tuesday to go to the ballots, and it's really important, and it's vital. Where we need to. I don't want to, people get the hyperbolic, you know, things, we may not have a country if, we may not have democracy if we don't. So it's everybody's responsibility to make a plan and vote. And that's the most important thing I can say.
Like that. Jim, take the floor.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And it's I've said this a couple of times before, but I'll say it again. We took democracy for granted. I did, and my generation has, and we grew up thinking this is never going to change. It's always going to be this wonderful place where we can live. And it wasn't until this last situation took place that we realized, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a very, very dangerous thing happening here, a very thin line. And I totally agree with Joe 1,000%. It's time to face the facts and to vote and to say where you want this country to go. And democracy is the answer all the way around. And we've looked at the rise and fall of the Third Reich, and I'm sorry to have to say it, but that's what I'm looking at now. And we gotta do something. We gotta do something and push forward and make it what it should be. And that's what all I have to say. It's just please get out and vote.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, watching worldwide, make sure once again to go watch the movie. You want to catch President Trump. You want to watch this movie, people. If you want a good laugh, a good storyline, watch it. I'm telling you. Every time you see Trump on the TV from here out, you will laugh because of this movie. So make sure you do it. Make sure you follow them on social media. Go to the websites. Check out Jill's photography. Check out Joe. Follow him on social media. He told you some footage will drop soon. You better go check them out. Make sure you do it. So, Jim and Joe, I want to thank you both for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
I would love to have you back on, both of you back on in the future.
Thank you
We'd
so
love
much.
to do
It
it,
was a
Coop.
real
It's
pleasure.
been a real pleasure, man.
Thank
A real
you.
pleasure, and I sure thank you.
Not a problem.
Talk
Ladies
to you
and
later.
gentlemen, of course, ladies and gentlemen, next episode of the Big Scoop with Coop. My next guest is, I don't announce my next guest. You better follow me on social media at the Big Scoop with Coop to find out the latest and greatest of who's coming on next. Until the next time, people, on the Big Scoop with Coop. Peace.
Peace.